Dimensional analysis. This is going to be a discussion of fudge factors and how to use them. Fudge factors are things that equal 1. We put them into the equation to help us move from one format of number to another. I'd like to thank Mr. Raynard, who taught me how to do this in high school chemistry. Okay, 6 equals 6, right? So 6 over 6 equals 1. There's 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So 60 minutes over 1 hour equals 1, and 1 hour over 60 minutes equals 1. Further, we can say 60 minutes over 1 hour equals 1 hour over 60 minutes. We can do the same thing with lots of other kinds of factors that we use in nursing. We're finding things that equal 1. There are fudge factors. We've got things such as 1 kilogram is the same as 2.2 pounds, so 1 kilogram over 2.2 pounds equals 1. 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram equals 1. 30 milliliters over an ounce equals 1. And 3 teaspoons over a tablespoon equals 1. And like we said in one of the previous slides, you can flip them over and they still equal 1. 2.2 pounds over 1 kilogram equals 1, etc. Okay, you're working with a new mother and baby, and the mother tells you that the baby just ate 1.5 ounces of formula. You've got to record it, but you have to record it in milliliters. How many milliliters is 1.5 ounce? So let's switch that to 1.5 ounces, and we got to put a fudge factor in there, and we'll get the answer in milliliters. We know that 1 ounce equals 30 milliliters. So 1 ounce over 30 milliliters equals 1, and 30 milliliters over 1 ounce equals 1. Which one are we going to use? When we look at the answer, we're trying to figure out milliliters. Milliliters is in the numerator. That's what we have to end up with. So we're going to choose the one that has milliliters in the numerator. That's 30 mils over 1 ounce. When you do the math, you then cancel out the ounces on the top, ounces on the bottom. The labels go away. You do the math, and you end up with 1.5 ounces equals 45 milliliters. Okay, you've got 50 milligrams per 10 milliliters of drug X. You need to give 25 milligrams. How many milliliters should you give? Well, again, we know that 50 milligrams over 10 milliliters equals 10 milliliters over 50 milligrams. Which one are we going to use? We want to end up with milliliters in the numerator. So, in this instance, we're choosing 10 milliliters over 50 milligrams because the milliliters need to be in the numerator. We want to end up with 25 milligrams. That means, because we've got milligrams on the bottom in the 10 mils per 50 milligrams, we want milligrams on the top. So the two factors, the two labels, cancel each other out. So we end up with 10 mils over 50 milligrams times 25 milligrams, and that's going to give you the answer of 5 milliliters. Let's look at our next example. You have 250 milligrams of drug Y, and it's in 1 liter of IV fluid. How many milliliters per hour must you give so that the patient gets 50 milligrams per hour? Well, you have 250 milligrams per liter. The ordered dose is 50 milligrams per hour, but you want an answer in milliliters. So first let's look at the liter issue. You want an answer in milliliters per hour. Well, you know, 1,000 milliliters over 1 liter is the same as 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters, and they both equal 1. Which one are you going to choose? You want an answer with milliliters in the numerator, so you're choosing 1,000 milliliters over 1 liter. You know, in this case, you can choose either 250 milligrams per liter or 1 liter per 250 milligrams. They're both the same thing. They're both what you've got. We're going to choose the one with liter in the numerator so that we can cancel out the two labels. One's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. Cancel out the labels. We have an ordered dose of 50 milligrams per hour or 1 hour per 50 milligrams. Either way, same thing. We're looking at the same question. Which one are we going to put in the numerator? Well, we want to end up with hours in the denominator. See over on the right, it says how many milliliters per hour? So that's the first clue, that we want hours in the denominator. The other clue is that we want the milligrams in the 50 milligrams to cancel out the label of milligram in the 250 milligram in the 1 liter per 250 milligram. So we're ending up with a formula that's 50 milligrams over an hour times 1 liter over 250 milligrams times 1,000 milliliters per liter, and that equals 200 milliliters per hour. Oops, we don't have an IV pump. We can't, with an IV pump, we could just calculate that rate in, but we don't have an IV pump. So we're going to have to figure out how many drops per minute we're giving, because we're going to stand there and count the drops in the drip chamber here. Now, these drip chambers have what we call drip factors, and they depend on the manufacturer. Sometimes there's 10 drips in a milliliter, sometimes there's 50, and sometimes there's 60 in a milliliter. We want to end up, what we want to give is 200 milliliters per hour. But we need to switch that over to drops per minute. GTTS is drops per minute. So our answer is drops per minute. So let's get rid of the hour problem. We said 200 milliliters an hour. Let's switch that over to minutes. We do that by putting minutes in the denominator because we want to end up in minutes, right? So 1 hour over 60 minutes, because that equals 1. That's one of our fudge factors. The next thing we're going to add in is the drip factor. And of this particular tubing that we're using for this example, there are 15 drops per milliliter. We want the answer to be in drops. We want drops to be in the numerator. So we're going to put drops in the numerator in this formula. All these different things cancel out. We add the 200 milliliters per hour so that hours cancel out, milliliters cancel out. And here's our final formula. 200 milliliters per hour times 15 drops over 1 mil times 1 hour over 60 minutes. Our answer is then going to be in drops per minute, and it ends up being 50 drops per minute. This is a skill that you're going to use. People who work in ICUs and with pediatrics and in nurseries use it all the time, every day. People in other kind of units and other kind of nursing still use it. This is something you have to master. So please, please, please practice this, practice this, practice this. This is just algebra.